Yo, 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 this is Afi Kingdom. Good morning, everybody. Coffee with the King. I got Coach Justin and Alpha Villains in. I'm going to play a few songs. We're going to have some fun tonight. We're going to tell some ratchet fun stories that y'all can learn from, and we're going to have a barbershop conversation. So y'all make sure y'all check in when y'all come in. I'm going to play a song for you guys. When the song is up, we start the show. Let's do it. Like the video and check in when you come in. Good morning, everybody. What up, Rob? P-Dubs, William, Joe Blast, Daniel. What's going on? AV, Justin, what's going on, guys?
What's popping? Good morning.
Hey, good morning, fellas.
Good morning.
Justin.
So, yeah, I wanted to have some fun today. This is serious, man. Let's get into some ratchet-ass fun stories, man. And you guys can put it in the chat. And here, I'm going to go first.
Let's go.
Now, if you guys been following me along since the beginning when I did the videos, I got a video called Beware of Single Mothers Part 2. So I decided to bring this one up because like a lot of you guys, they never heard this. This is before I started even going live when I used to do uploading and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So met a girl on my birthday, right? Some of y'all probably heard this story. So I met a girl on my birthday. I ain't told it in a long time. Met a girl on my birthday. She was I think she was a nurse. And so boom, met her on my birthday. Was super lit. And drunk, hung out with her, whatever. And then so that was a Friday. So next date, Saturday, she was like, I'm gonna take you out for your birthday, which is cool because I just met her the night before and she already want to take me out. So we're gonna definitely roll with that. So she took me on a date. So the date that she took me on, we went on a iFly, which is like virtual skydiving, fake skydiving. And then she took me to crustaceans. So it's the first date. You know what I'm saying? She didn't already drop like 300. It was cool.
She set the bar high. First date.
Yeah. You cats need to stop setting the bar too high too, because y'all can't follow it. That's another lesson, but we'll get into that.
That's
later.
another show.
Yeah. So I'm like, cool. So after that, knocked her down. Boom. So next date, knocked down, which is cool because a lot of you times you get a first night knockdown, but it's just on some late night stuff. But she invested and show high interest from the gate. Knocked her down. So we get to talking and stuff on Sunday. So the baby daddy gets introduced.
Damn, that's fast.
Right. Well, just the conversation.
Okay.
And she's telling me, and she seems, she's like super like nerdy and quirky and everything. That's how come I was thrown off. And this is what I learned from this lesson too. Before I tell the story, you can't go off of the woman because you don't know what she like. So some guys and even me to an extent, but she's this nerdy, quirky nurse girl. I assume she messing with some beta ass dude that I'm snap. She guess what her baby daddy is. AP.
Drug dealer.
Look, probably that too. But he was a biker. So I'm like, oh shit. It's a whole thing. See, if y'all not from Oakland, the biker scene in Oakland is everybody knows, like everybody knows what those fucking guys be doing and shit. So it's like, god damn, bro. I thought I had me a square. When I got her one, she would fuck with the thug type shit. All right, so boom. So I'm kind of like, damn, right? And this is funny because I'm telling you this story. It seemed like it's a long time, but it's only like a week worth of shit, right? So then I'm like, So, we talked throughout the week, a few days and shit. Next weekend. So I seen her the day I met her, the day we went on a date and I smashed. And then, so this is the third time I seen her. So the third time I seen her, she told me to come to the house and shit. So I'm like, all right, first time I knocked her down, it was at my house. So I'm like, all right, I want to check out her house anyway, see if it's like nice and shit. I want to see. Go over there, kids gone, knock it down. I'm like, man, I just finished blasting. I'm just laying here like, I really don't want to be here right now. But the devil said, that was a fire blast, bro. You wanted to lay down for a second. So my real brain is telling me, get up and go, bro. You woke. And the bad side is saying, man, that was fire, bro. Lay your ass down. You deserve it. I go with option B. I lay my fucking ass down. Right? Phone going.
I already know.
You probably seen this one.
Yep, I remember now.
And I'm just like, the fuck, bro. And something told me it was like, he know her schedule. Pop up. I'm in the bed asleep. You wake up, you think you dreaming. Boom! Sock me. Right? So I get socked, bro. And I'm like, it's like it went in slow motion because it's like, even though it happened so fast, I'm still thinking to myself, how did I just get socked over a woman I don't even care about? Like, I literally just met her last weekend, and now, so he hit. So now we got to fight.
Mm-hmm.
right? I ain't got no clothes on though. So yeah, bro. So we doing all of this. I ain't got my clothes on. I'm trying to get my boxers and this shit, and then I'm trying to grab this and shit. Yeah, bro. Then I'm out. Then he chased me down the hallway and shit. Man, it was bad, bro.
Yo,
Yeah, imagine being that sunk in over a woman that you're about to fight another dude.
See, I'm pissed because it ain't even like she like my chick like that. Where I feel like let's show down to see who. Dude, I just met her last Saturday, bro. I woke up and now I gotta fight.
you know, there's so many lessons in that story, man. And I like the way this is going. I guess we can all unpack the lessons from a story. But yo, you got to remember, women sometimes will use you as a pawn to make to make the other person jealous or to fulfill a need that she's not getting from that biker dude. A lot of these gangster dudes, when they're weak, they pick a square. They pick someone who is awkward, who's socially awkward, because they don't want that for their possession, right? Then they go cheat on the broad and get with a bitch that will put it anywhere, who's a slut, who's easy, who likes to drink, etc. So I think in that particular case, even though on the surface she appeared to be a nerd, she smashed you. You smashed her. Aside from your game and all that shit, you smashed her relatively quickly. But at the same time, she was fulfilling a void that she was not getting from her real man. And I think her real man wasn't giving her what she wanted because he couldn't handle the fact that she really wanted that. A lot of men are weak like that. A lot of niggas will settle down with a wifey and still cheat on the wifey because they don't want their girl to drink. They don't want their girl to smoke. They don't want their girl to put it in their ass and all that shit. So that's how people get killed, man. So when you say, Alfie, not to judge a woman by its cover or not to put yourself in a predicament where your life can be threatened as a result of a woman that you don't even know, you have to have that discernment and to be very careful because you never know what a woman is trying to do, or any person for that matter, what they're capable of and what role you're playing in their life at that particular moment. You got to be careful.
Yeah, bro. Man, you know, my stupid ass, bro. I'm after that, I still gonna fuck with her because that back then it's like, nah, man, I'm gonna hit it one more time because I want it to be on my terms. Right. But that's my problem though. I be liking shit on my terms. So I'm like, I'm gonna keep fucking her ass and I'm gonna fight his ass again. That's the reason why I did it. Because I wanted to keep, and I did, and I wanted to keep fucking with her so I could fight him again. But I wanted to be ready for the next time. Ego,
man. We all got it.
Instead of just taking XLF, I'm like, nah, fuck that shit. He got me fucked up. I'm gonna go over there and keep knocking her shit down. And the next time he come, I'm gonna be like, all right, yeah, now let's do it, bro.
Yo, you know what's crazy? It's like ego, man. We really have to learn how to balance our egos. There is so much strength in restraining yourself. I find myself that I have to restrain myself every day in how I talk, how I move, my ego. Like in Afi's case, when you said that you wanted to hit her back, get her, knock her back down so you can have another opportunity to hit that guy and challenge that guy again. That's your ego. And as a man, we need an ego. Absolutely. But it's that fine line and balancing it and making sure that you're not stepping a line where you're going to jeopardize your life over some shit that didn't really matter. So restraint is very important as a man. I think men really need to kind of meditate daily, give themselves some clarity so they don't put themselves in a situation where they're going to regret they're either going to get locked up or killed over some dumb shit.
Mm-hmm.
What say you, Justin, man? I know this.
Oh, well, I mean, I was just like, you mentioned this situation and it made me think of the violence that has been the result of women. And there's been like straight wars. Like the Trojan War was fought over a woman. Like basically on the city of Troy, the Greeks, after Paris of Troy took Helen and from her husband Menelaus, king of Sparta. And he's like, you're not going to take my woman. And they had this huge, massive battle over this lady. It's like, come on. Like, really? Is it that good? Is it that good? Come on.
You know, Justin, us, right? OGs, older gentlemen who've been there. That's easy for us to say right now, man. But I've been there, bro. I wanted to fight over a broad, and it wasn't worth it. Whether I got stole, I got my ass kicked, or what have you, it really wasn't worth it, man. So you said something very important. Women can bring down kingdoms and breed the demise of a man if he is not focused on what is really important. A lot of women thrive off drama. They want to feel important. And, you know, jealousy and attention is really their currency. So violence, you're absolutely right, man. I feel like men should, if you're with your lady and you have to protect yourself as a result of being threatened with your life, that's one thing. But if to fight over a person who doesn't want to be there, who's playing a game, I don't think that's wise, because that shows insecurity on your part. And that shows that you don't necessarily love yourself and the person's not into you if they're willing to play those games to put you in a position where she can be a spectator while watching you guys duel for her honor. That's just bullshit.
Right. And all that, what that shows is getting butthurt about not being wanted. Like, it's just that simple. Like, you know, they accepting the basic truth that if they're not calling you back, they're just not that into you. Plain and simple. They're playing games. They're just not that into you. Really simple. And for people who just can't accept that, dudes who just get really fucking upset about that nonsense, they can't accept the truth of that, and it hits them emotionally because they got bullshit from their childhood that they haven't resolved, and they still want that validation from mommy, and then so when they don't get it from a woman, it just keeps triggering those old wounds, and they get all fucking upset. And since men today largely aren't well connected with their emotions and know how to intelligently deal with them, they just lash out, because it's easier to say, damn, or it's easier to say, I'm going to fuck you up, than say, damn, that really hurts.
Coach, let me ask you this. Since you are a coach and you coach men, what would you say to men who have that issue, okay, we're older now, mommy, let's get over it. Mommy, daddy wasn't around, mommy wasn't around. How do we find that balance to be able to embrace our emotions, right, without watering down our masculinity? Because when you don't do that, like you said, you start to erupt, you start to lash out, and those results can lead into incarceration or death.
Sure.
What can we do?
Well, a lot of it has to do with your environment, right? So if you're in an environment where certain traits are not supported and certain traits are, okay, so you can envision certain environments where only a number of emotions are allowed to be shown and expressed, all right? And other ones are either not allowed at all, or they're only allowed in certain company in private, okay? And if you are to show certain things, then you will be labeled as weak, labeled as less of a man. But nowadays, there's growing communities of men that are, a lot of them are ass-kicking bad motherfuckers. I've been spending time with top-level CEOs, top-level players, top-level MMA fighters, just people, just very like masculine men who are very much in control of their lives. And we get together and say, hey, you know, like, let's talk about our week. What's been bothering us? What are our successes? What are things we're trying to work on? And really being open about it and not judging one another about it. Okay, because that's kind of how we grow up as young men, as boys, is that there's this big judgment and this idea that, like, you're only allowed to be a certain amount of a guy. And if it goes beyond what's expected, then you're less than. And granted, you still have to be aware of the situation, right? Because the environment has its rules. There's the rules of the street. There's the rules of the work. There's rules of society. And some things are just not acceptable. But that doesn't mean you can't get in touch with these things. So don't use your environment as your place to exercise your feelings, right? Find places where you can. Find men who are intelligent enough with their emotions to say, hey, it's okay to open up. I don't give a shit. Talk about whatever the hell you want, right? It's not going to bother me none.
I know Afi said something maybe 2 streams back, finding your tribe. Now, as men, we always promote individualism, mastering confinement. So not necessarily be reliant on other men.
Of
But
course.
what you said was very important. Finding certain places and environments, creating certain environments where you can be emotionally free, where you can be masculine, where you can communicate openly without any judgment from, I guess, weaker people. It's very important to not only find a tribe, but to master confinement, find a tribe, and identify which environments you can be emotional, which environments you can understand and learn from one another. It's very important because the story that Afi said, you know what I mean, him getting stole, having that ego, wanting to hit the broad again to get a rematch with the guy. That's all ego shit. I would do that too. I was wilding out, you know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, now I realize that when you act a certain way as a man without discernment in particular environments, you may be considered less of a man. You may be considered arrogant. You may be considered so many different labels, and that will confuse you if you do not act accordingly in a particular environment that you create. So that's very important.
Yeah, and you know, it's those individuals who would say, "Oh, you get in touch with the myriad of feelings that you have, you're a pussy." Right?
Facts.
No. What that does is it creates emotional intelligence, because when it's just like any other stimulus, right? You have a stimuli. You spend time with it. The more time you spend with it, the more you understand it. The more you understand it, the more you can either make it work for you or put it under your control. Okay, those people who rage out, okay, and they feel like they're being a tough guy, tough man, okay, they actually have very little emotional intelligence. Their EQ is very limited, right? For if they had a greater understanding of the breadth of their feelings, they would have the wherewithal and the understanding of how to keep them under control and not let them drive the bus, not flip out because some dude's smashing some girl, you know. You know what I'm saying? It's like, yeah, you'd be like, damn, that fucking sucks. But wait, is that going to ruin my day? Does that change who I am? Right?
Real quick.
What's up, Afi?
Let me say what's up to the other players sliding through. What's going on? Black Jack, Matt Dub, Joe Blast, my Motu brothers, Nelly Nell, War Report, RPC. Good morning, brothers. And I know one thing, y'all not about to finesse me. Y'all ain't telling no stories. Y'all
Nah. I'm about to drop them right now.
Y'all got my story. Now we just gonna unpack that. Now I want to hear some stories too.
Yeah. Some funny stories. Let me give a funny story. So I kind of have a rule and shit, right? Like I kind of have a rule with a broad. Like even though I know it's a natural thing, I don't like when girls belch in front of me or pass gas in front of me. I think it's rude, and I think there's a way to do it. You know what I'm saying? So that's a big rule for me. You know what I mean? Bros know that. So I was having a session one time, and I was doing my thing, and the broad orgasmed. Right? So she orgasmed, and simultaneously when she orgasmed, she passed gas, and it stung. the room.
I had that happen during the 69.
No. It was during intercourse. It was during intercourse, and it stunk, right? And she immediately, I know she came, and she immediately got up and she went to the bathroom, and to the point where I thought she shit on the bed. Real talk. So after that, I didn't make her feel bad about it because it was in the moment, but I talked to her about it the next day, and she kind of used that as an opening to say why I have such high standards in regards to women passing gas and women burping in front of me. And I just told her that I don't feel it. I felt like it wasn't very a feminine trait. It's not something that I do. If I'm sitting next to you, I'm not going to fart in front of you and shit unless I have to, or burp in front of you. I just think it's a courtesy thing. And I think a lot of women get pissed off at that with me because they feel like they want to be in their natural state. So it's kind of like when we first met, you were proper, you were eating salads and shit, you had your makeup on and everything like that. But as time passed, they want to get more comfortable and start doing shit that is not as ladylike as it was when she was trying to vet me. So that was a funny story for me because I go through that. I say that off front. You know what I'm saying? We talk about that story, and I tell them what I feel is necessary to keep my interest high and just to kind of have a courtesy between one another. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Hey, it's funny, AV, because I just figured out a whole. Remember, we always talk about patterns. I just figured out patterns, bro. Because look, because when you just said that, it reminded me of another story, bro. And that was on my birthday too. And then I think about this birthday that just passed. It was some funny shit
Crazy.
that happened too.
We always igniting each other. Yeah.
So it's the birthday shit, bro. Because it's another chick who I met on my birthday. And shout out to my partner who did my day one, who was on the live stream with me a few weeks ago because he was with me. So shout out to my partner. Went to watch this game at 3000, which is like a sports grill where they have crab and shit like that. At the time, it was like the bougie spot. Like you can watch the game and get crab and shit. So it's just real high post. You know what I'm saying? So we in there doing that. Met this chick. Boom. She was choosing online. Talked to her. Real flirty, sexual vibe. So she came through that same night. She came through the same night. Knocked her down. Right. So she was a squirter, bro. And that was like the first squirter that I had, bro. And she squirted on my bed, bro. So tough. I was so pissed, bro. And then she like smiling at me, like, look what you did. And I'm like,
bitch, look what you did.
Cool, bro. What the fuck did you pee in my bed? She like, no, I squirted. I'm a squirter. I'm like, nah, bro, that's not squirt, bro. That's because you know me. Because I would think squirting was like when a girl have a hard orgasm. So, a girl have an orgasm like, oh, and then a girl have an orgasm like, oh. I thought that was an orgasm. I thought that was a squirt where it be wet and stuff. I didn't realize like the squirt because porn, that wasn't nothing I clicked on. So right. I was just looking at big booty women,
right.
like that. So I wasn't looking at squirters. So I hadn't had a real squirter. So I'm like, what the fuck, bro? And then she's like, oh yeah, you did your thing, whatever. I'm like, nah, bro, this ain't gonna work. And I swear, like, rest in peace to the women who deal with me. I'm hard because it's like me. It's like I'm a man, but then I get into my child shit. Like, I don't understand. Like certain stuff, certain situations, I don't be understanding, and it's like I'm a computer, and it's like a malfunction. Like I don't get it. Like. I don't get it. So I'm kind of like, the fuck? So I said, this ain't gonna work. You gotta go. And she was like, what you mean? I said, no, bro. Like, I gotta sleep on the couch tonight.
It's not my thing. Right.
I'm not impressed by this. Because now I can't sleep in my fucking bed. Like, it was that bad that I'm like, so I'm just,
wait. Sorry, I had to take a quick emergency call. So the story was that the girl squirted in your bed and you got all weird about it.
Yeah, bro, because she was just like, yeah, we did that, and it's like, it's wet in this bed, bro. This shit is nasty.
Yeah, see, you're not planning, man. I got waterproof sheets. You
missed that part. That was my first time seeing that. Like before,
yeah.
I would think
ones they get for kids who wet the bed.
Yeah,
right. I got that on my queen size bed right now.
Nice.
Right? And you get a couple of them, so you can change them out. And I got that shit right on my bed. And so when shit goes down, you just take off both layers, put on a new sheet, and then before lady comes over the next time, you put on the next one.
What he was saying is that since that was his first experience, it kind of grossed him out. And
so you're never gonna smash that girl ever again.
Yeah,
man.
Exactly. That's what
that judgment came.
I didn't know. Like, because I was telling AV when you left, like, see, you know how women have an orgasm, like, oh, I had an orgasm, and then they have a tough one, like, oh. So I thought that was squirting when the bed is like wet. I didn't like so. Her squirting is like, I thought she peed the bed. I'm like, this is nasty, bro. It's all over.
Nah, it's a complete. Some are big squirters, but it's not urine at all. It comes from a totally different place.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
There's like a sponge. They call it this something sponge, and it's like up near around where the G spot is, and it gets like kind of engorged with the fluid.
Yes.
And I think to this day, like, people don't even know what the hell it is, but it's not urine.
Yeah, it's definitely not urine. It's clear. And I used to date a bro too that had the back massager, right? So the back massager with the two hole things, and we used to use that tool and shit. And she was squirt, bro. And it didn't gross me out.
Was her lower back really sensitive?
I don't recall.
Because I learned that girls who have a very sensitive low back tend to be squirters.
Really? Now I don't remember, bro. All I know is that when it was one of those nights, those Bobby Brown nights, man, and we had all those tours, yeah, adjusted Bobby Brown, bro. You know what I mean? Like, mimicking shit, doing dumb shit. We would have those that.
Yeah, I appreciate you keeping it real though. Shit,
Nah, I already, man. We could go down another show, but yeah, man. So what we were saying basically, knowing what you like. I guess what I'm getting out of Afi's story, knowing what you like and what you don't like, man. You know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of guys that like anal. I've had some bad experiences with not me receiving, obviously, just performing anal on a broad, and it's not really my thing. I know a lot of times, a lot of guys like anal because it's ego driven. I've done it, but it's not really my bag. You know what I'm saying? So it's important for men to know what they like sexually, so that way they can instruct the woman on how to please them, and in turn you please them back. So that's where that open communication comes in. So if you date a broad or you get with a broad, a one night stand or what have you, you don't know what her triggers are, you don't know if she's a squirter or whatnot. It's important to kind of hit it on the nail right now, whether you like it or not. And like you said, it's not my thing, so she had to go. So that way you don't waste each other's time.
Yeah, and I'm just real quick on that subject of anal. Porn messes that up for dudes big time. Okay, they don't see what gets prepared before the shoot.
Yes.
Okay. There's to have things done properly. Okay, so that it like looks like it does in porn. There's a lot of preparation that goes into it. Okay, and if the person isn't well versed, all right, it takes mental preparation. Okay,
yes.
And so there's a bunch of things like you can't just like
go in there.
Go at it just like throw it on her ass. It doesn't work that way. Right,
yeah, you gotta
like that only works on the screen like that, and they even had preparation beforehand to make it look like they could just throw it in, but it doesn't work that way.
Yeah, you got to get the enema. You got to work her way into it. There's a lot of preparation.
And it takes like that immediacy, passion out of it because you're dealing with something that wasn't designed for sex, right? So you have to treat it that way. You know what I'm saying?
Very good point. Yeah, in regards to anal, setting the mood, setting the tone, the ambience. Let's say somebody wants to give you her ass, right? Because you dominated everywhere else. Now it's time for the third hole. Setting the ambiance, preparing her. Those are important things too, because you can't just put it in there. You got to make sure she's got the enema. You got to make sure that you don't put it back in the vagina because of all the bacteria. So if you're not well versed and you don't understand what the fuck is going on, you can give the broad an infection just trying to mimic a Pornhub video that you like.
Yeah. And also you need good lube. A really good company. All right. My favorite one is a company called Pure, PJUR. And they like hands down like make the best lube. And I had that recommended to me by a friend of mine who's a porn star, and it's like what he swears by for like 15 years of experience. So
speaking of lube, Justin, I know you got a crazy story about lube and being necessary to make things fun. Want to share that?
Do I have a funny story about lube?
I think we were touching on something earlier.
No, man. What was it that I said?
Just when you have a good session with somebody, and sometimes the person has to communicate that they need more lube because as a result, the following day they're sore, they can't wipe properly.
Oh yeah, all right, yeah. I see. Yeah, okay, yeah. I mean, because see, that's the thing. Like with condoms, like you lose a good amount of sensitivity, and so you can't tell what she's feeling unless there's clear and open communication. All right. And that's another thing that's just really lacking with a lot of people is having like you can converse during sex, right? It's okay. It doesn't have to be all dirty talk. It doesn't have to be silent. All right. You can talk through sex and talk about like what feels good and what doesn't. And if something's not feeling good with the woman, like it's her responsibility to speak up because when you got a condom on, you can't really feel if there's any kind of friction. Maybe like a little bit, but you can't be fully aware of that friction in the same way if you're going raw. So yeah, it's real important to at least have it on hand for when for when it's needed, you know. And at the time, I only had water-based, and I only used that for toys, you know, because if you got silicone toys, you can't use silicone lube because for some reason the silicone breaks down the silicone rubber. You have to use a water-based lube.
Hey, real quick, Unique says, unfortunately, there are many men like yourselves in households, the streets, and schools, etc. Men like yourselves are only found on YouTube. That's facts. And shout out to Unique for the Cash App. I appreciate that. If you guys have a question in the chat, super chat it. Or if you got a wrench, because it's like we in a conversation. Like I see a few questions is off. If they important, you got to make them a color, bro, because we having like a for real conversation. Shout out to Kat. I did get your Cash App that I missed on the show, and it was a generous one, baby. I appreciate that. I do.
Nice.
I seen it when I got up. If y'all's Cash App me, make sure y'all tell me because I be looking at this, not my phone most of the time. So I got a question for you guys on the chat though, and this is a selfish question because I don't know. Like ever since for me, when did I do that month mode? Was it last year? Yeah, I think it was last year around August. And I'm telling you, man, I got so focused on my shit. Like I lost like my sex drive and the whole chase thing. Like it's like, so like, where do y'all feel like on the dating shit? Is y'all just, do y'all have a chick y'all like that y'all dealing with? Are y'all kind of through with it? Are y'all with the rotations? Y'all just kind of chilling? Is it kind of like, tell me what y'all think? Cause like for me, it's like, bro, like, I don't know. I want to accomplish my goals so much, man. Women don't really mean nothing to me at this point, bro. But hold on, just real quick. It just happened like a switch, though. It's weird, like because I went all my years, 38, 39, and then I went that 3-4 months, and then when I got back, it's just I couldn't get back into it, bro, because I like doing this shit too much.
Yeah, I think it's important to have a healthy. I think it's no, you're good. I think it's important to have a healthy balance, though, Afi. You know what I mean? I know you work very hard. You do panels, you're doing webinars and shit like that. But I think it's something. I'm going to repeat something that you told me, man. You know, you have to pace yourself and give yourself some balance, man. Get some rest, sleep, and also include some potential company in your life, right? And again, because I think it's safe for you because you understand the importance and the lack of importance of a woman. But adding them to your weekly or monthly schedule would be important just to give you some balance, right? To kind of see if it's something that you would possibly visit or enjoy. You know what I'm saying? All work and no play is definitely, I don't think it's healthy. As far as women are concerned and shit, there's always a season where they're not important. They're never really important. However, it's nice to have some interaction with the woman to kind of learn from, to kind of give yourself some more material as well, to kind of see what's going on. Definitely, sex is not as important as it used to be. I still enjoy it though, but my bar has been risen as a result of just seeing what's out there and having ample experience. But for me right now, if it's hard to find a woman who's going to understand your schedule and your ambition, right? Because what it takes to kind of be with the woman, even if you're a good looking dude and you have some status, you still got to take some time out of your schedule just to entertain the broad. So it depends, bro.
To be honest, that's how come I know I totally changed, bro, because getting chicks was always easy, but I got social status now. I never had that. You know, I never been a social media guy. And with the social status, bro, I can make such a killing and I'm not. So that just lets me know, like, damn, bro, you know what you could be doing right now? And I'm not. And it's just like, damn, I'm almost in awe of it. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, you know, before YouTube, I meet a chick, she thinks I'm cute, I give her the game, or I may post some shit and she, you know, like that regular stuff we have. Now I just meet women who want to have sex already, and it's just like, damn, bro, I could be killing, and I'm just so into my shit, and it's just like, damn, what's wrong with me?
Now, you know what, though? I want to say something to you. So I know that you kind of slowed down the drinking, perhaps, and for me too, Bobby Brown, right? I slowed down the drinking tremendously. I don't fuck with hard drugs. I don't fuck with hard drugs anymore, and I think that those type of vices definitely will make you lose focus and want to be with women. You know what I'm saying? So the fact that I kind of made a conscious decision to kind of slow down the drinking tremendously, not fuck with any hard drugs, it allows me to be clear and focus on what is actually important. When you lit, you drinking and shit, you doing other types of shit, you just want to attack everything, what it is. You know what I'm saying? So I think making conscious decisions as a man and moderating your vices is very important in accomplishing your goals, because if they go hand in hand, man. You know, like when you go to a bar, I don't smoke cigarettes anymore. I used to, but when I go to a bar, somebody's smoking a cigarette, I'll get a cigarette. You know what I'm saying? I'll have a drink. Somebody's doing something and shit. I'm like, man, fuck, it's been a while. Let me get a bump. So this is why I understand. I have to know my lanes. And like what Justin said, knowing your environments that are conducive to what you are trying to accomplish. But at the same time, Afi, all of your accomplishments that you've done, you deserve a reward, right? And sometimes a reward is not going to be packaged the way you see it. So maybe going out and doing something a little different and meeting somebody who can entice you, because I know that you are sapiosexual, maybe that can be a reward that you don't even know that you need. You know what I'm saying? So it's all about that work-life balance, bro.
Yeah.
Well, you gotta. It begs question of like why you're doing that shit in the first place.
Hold on, real quick. Don
Yeah.
is backstage. It says your device not connected, so I don't know what's up. I'm gonna remove you and try to come back on because you backstage, but it won't let me. It won't let you on, bro. It says your device not connected. So I'm just politely removing you and then just try to come back because it won't let me click you in for some reason.
What I wanted to say was, why would somebody be doing that shit in the first place, right? Why do people get into those lifestyles of having, doing a lot of drugs, going out, drinking, basically treating their bodies and their minds like shit, right? And you can associate women in there too. So what you're dealing with is someone who has low self-value, right? Because if you're doing shit to yourself that is unhealthy, be it social environment, imbibing in chemicals, eating shitty food, whatever, that sort of stuff shows that you don't care. You don't care enough to take care. And that, so usually what that shit is a masking or a numbing of dealing with what you have actually going on inside you. And oftentimes women are placed into that category, placed into that assortment of things that you use to numb your mind or make you feel better because you feel like shit.
Yeah.
So once you start focusing on yourself and start improving yourself and really generating a lot of self-love and self-respect and self-value, then all those things start going away, including women. And then if you want to spend time with a woman, it becomes choice, not out of this psychological need, right? Because I experienced the same thing that you were saying, Afi, right? And now, I got a girl with me, and she knows that my time is extremely valuable. So that when I do give time to her, it's greatly appreciated. And every single time, hands down, she says, thank you. And the day after, thank you so much for sharing your time with me. I had such a good time, right? Because I drop all my other shit, okay? And so when she's with me, I'm with her 100%.
Undivided.
Yeah, exactly. And then when she's not with me, it's boom, back to what I need to do. And she's very appreciative of that because she knows clearly how seriously I take my time. Right. So she's always just like, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I miss you already. Can't wait till the next time we see each other again. And it's only like once or twice a week. I don't need any more ass than that. It's like I got too much shit to do.
Hey, Justin, when I went to Mr. Lucario's channel, him and Miles, and he was just like, damn, bro, you making this feel bad. You wrote 6 books in a year. How you do that? I said, I stopped chasing ass, bro. That's how.
And there's a lot of info about that, like transmutation.
Maybe one. I could have got one off, maybe, or 2 max. It wouldn't have been the same for sure.
Exactly.
But guess what though? And that's why I like talking to King Dre, because King Dre feel me on this, because we've had long hour conversations about it. Because before he started doing YouTube, shout out to Mr. Man in Action, brother. Before I started doing YouTube, it's saying the same thing, Don. Let's just wait. I'm gonna put the link in the chat for you, bro, and maybe it'll work that way.
But I want to bring up something real quick, okay? Now some people might hear this and go, oh, well, I'm not talking to girls because I'm focusing on my own shit. All right. Now, you could be doing that. There's a difference. Can you get women and you're choosing to do that shit? Or you're telling yourself you're doing that shit because you can't get women and you're just making it seem like you're on this other thing. You know what I'm saying? It's one thing to say, I'm not dealing with women anymore when you can. When you can pick up and make a phone call and make it happen, but you're like, you know what? I don't need to deal with a roster because that shit is time consuming, it's emotion consuming, it's body consuming.
Overrated.
And I need that shit for other things.
Facts.
Versus you can't do that shit. And you're just like, oh, well, I'm not going to do because I know it's worth,
You're hiding behind
my time. Yeah, it's taking the concept.
Mr. Man in Action, if you want to come up, there to go to link too, but you got to cam up though, bro. We're doing cam ups today. If you want to cam up, you can come up. But bad guy, I put the link in there for you because for whatever reason it's not working the other way. So don't none of y'all get up on here trying to do it. That's for bad guy Don Surrett or if MMI if you want to. So y'all don't be trying to just pop up here and shit. I'm gonna kick y'all out.
Justin said something awesome. Justin said, you have to sometimes a lot of people hide behind the word purpose because they can't actually get women. So they divulge and they dive themselves, they immerse themselves into work and other things to be successful because of the fact that they cannot actually get women or they're socially awkward. This is why you have clients who are six-figure earners, good-looking dudes who have physiques, right? Because they've immersed their stuff into their craft, but they're still socially awkward. This is why the work-life balance comes into play. So can you get women and you're making a conscious decision to stay focused, or are you just simply staying focused because you can't get women? So it's all about just that balance, man. And that's what you have to understand. That purpose is good, but if you just immersing yourself into one thing and ignoring everything else that comes with life, you're going to be jaded and you're going to be seeking help from people where you shouldn't be seeking help from.
Let me say this. And this was just about shout out to RSB for the shameless plug. Y'all make sure y'all go subscribe to RSB. Hit the notification bell. Daniel says, Afi, I broke it off with a chick because she took up all of my time. They will, bro. See, that's the thing with me. Like, I never met a woman before who, you know what? That's probably why I ain't got no girlfriend, because I never met a woman before who will consistently put my happiness before hers. Now, I know that sounds fucked up. But the whole thing is, if you make me happy, I'm gonna make you happy because I'm a giving person, and that's why I teach for a living. And I'm gonna say this, like, shout out to King Dre to our conversations, like, because we've talked, dude. It's like, see, I always knew I was here to help people. That's why I wanted to teach, because I like to teach and help other people. But I realized last year, this is actually my calling. Like, before I was just doing this shit, I get to talk shit with my homies, player shit. This is fun. But when I start getting the feedback consistently of how I'm touching people's lives and shit like that on a daily, bro, it's better than sex for me. And then it's not even like my friends or my circle. It's cats all over the world. And that's my gas now. Mm-hmm. So it's just different, bro. Because I feel like this is what I'm here for. I'm here, like, you know, like even books. Like I'm writing a book right now that wasn't even on my schedule. But it's like, I don't know why. I get these crazy ideas. Like, I just got to do. I don't know why. I feel like it'll make sense later. But for right now, it's just saying, do it. And I can't control it, bro. I'm just doing, you know?
Yeah. Well, you know, this is no knock on you, Afi, but from my understanding, a woman will treat you that way, will treat any man that way when she perceives the value. All right. So this girl that I'm seeing, like, I had knocked out the rest of my roster for her. All right. She came off as the best of 4. So I dropped off 3. And frankly, 4 is too much to manage. The time involved is too much to manage. And I was like, all right, you know what? You're the best one of the bunch. We're gonna see how you do. Right.
Right.
And she's been doing great. Right. Mm-hmm. So, but she knows that she can be dropped. She knows she can be replaced. and she sees value in who I am, and therefore she works hard to make me happy when we spend time together. I never have experienced a bad attitude from her ever, and I know she's capable, but there's only been a couple of times where she said something that I didn't like, and I checked her at it. Real, just calm, didn't like blow up or anything, but just put a stop at it. Said, hey, no, that's not for you, right? That's not. So she wanted to like comment on something that I was saying about my family, and she was saying, giving her own perspective. And I'm saying, look, you don't know my family. That's not your place to give your opinion on. Mm-hmm. And she's like, okay, right, it's cool. And so what I'm trying to say is that when she perceives value, she will do whatever she can to keep you in her life. And because she knows that you stand out amongst the rest of people, right? Amongst the rest of other guys. And she's like, okay, I don't want to lose this dude, so I'm going to work hard and keep it as though we're still on that first date, trying to keep my best foot forward.
You know what's interesting, Afi? And again, we're not. I mean, you're gonna do you. I'm not encouraging you to get abroad at all. I'm not. I don't know what you're doing. You're saying, but what I'm saying is, before the beer bug, and before you kind of, as you evolved and you started realizing that the feedback that you're getting because of your calling is better than sex, you had a different status and you had different value, right? So now that you have social status, you're an author. Like Justin is saying, women's perception now will be different of you, and they may be willing to comply as far as what your time constraints are, what you like during sex and all that shit, because of your value now that you've acquired from the hard work that you're doing. So in the event you want to go out, say, fuck it, I'm going to Colombia or whatever. No, I'm going to Miami, whatever. And you meet a broad that understands who you are and what it took for you to get there. She will play her role to a T to ensure that she keeps you, because now you're more valuable as a result of the monk mode or whatever you did to get to where you at right now. So that's something to think about. Work-life balance, bro. Shit is hard.
Well, I don't really be having problems. But see, the thing is, like me, I have long holds. So I have situations that last for years. So I get what you're saying, Justin, and I get that type of cooperation. But through years upon years, shit gets tested, though.
Yeah, and it's not going to be every woman, right? See, because there's this idea out there that if you're a fucking masculine man, that you're going to be appealing to all women. That's not the case, right? Like, I have my own way of, it's all subjective. It's all individualistic. So I have my own way, and that's not going to appeal to every woman. But to the women that it does appeal to, they will see value in that and then say, okay, I don't want to lose that value, right? Like, I'm not like I'm more of a rugged guy, right? And like, I don't wear shirts with buttons on them. I don't dress up. I have that shit for events, but that's it. That's not, I don't wear fancy shoes and fancy coats and all that shit. Like, I work on motorcycles. I like build shit with my hands. I can't have like fancy clothes and shit because I'm too much of a creator. That all my clothes will get fucked up, right? So, but that's just how I am. And some women find that very appealing, right? And the ones that see value in that, when I show them some of my time, they're like, oh, okay, But I wanted to say something about that comment that came up about the dude, what was it, Daniel? And he was like, I had to drop this girl to cut her off because she was taking up too much of my time. And the truth of that statement is, she wasn't taking up too much of your time. You were giving her too much of your time.
Boom.
Let's go. Accountability.
I was thinking it, but I wanted to hear you say it. It's true, bro. I don't know, like this shit, bro. Like, I don't know, and it's just like, it's just different, bro. Like, I feel like I'm literally the hardest working guy on YouTube, and I'm not saying that to like say I'm the shit, because it's like I'm like the network guy, man. I'm like the middleman in a lot of shit. So it's like, I don't just make 10-minute videos and pop them up on YouTube and like live my life and shit. Like yesterday, shit, bro. I study, like, so I watched like 3-4 hours of Joe Rogan content just to study him. You know what I'm saying? studied his path to success of how he was doing the judo and all of these different things, how he became a master of all. That's what I spend my spare time doing. But it's like everyone who is great does the same thing. These are successful habits. Like, I'm not just watching it to be like, that was cool. I'm watching it to be like, oh, okay, when he was this age, so he didn't start his podcast until he was 42. So as me doing YouTube right now, and I'm about to be 40, so it's like I'm ahead of the game. That's what I'm learning through watching him. So I'm not just watching like, this is a cool story. Like, oh, okay, well, damn. He did all of this shit, Fear Factor and all of that, but he started his podcast at 42, and then he didn't get his deal until 52. So what that tell me? It tell me I'm on the right track, because guess what? All I'm doing right now, however many, whatever, I'm perfecting my craft. So when I get to that next level, I know exactly what to do because I done did all of this first.
You're ready. And you know what? That is, and you're absolutely right. You know, studying successful people, emulating successful people, practicing best practices is very important. But, you know, for the younger audience, right? You might not necessarily be able to do what Afi can do. You may not necessarily be able to do what Justin can do or what I can do. The important thing is to understand who you are, what your limits are, and if you want to achieve more, you have to try to go above your limits, right? So studying successful people, but always giving yourself that room to kind of just reset. It's very important. And I think Afi, in his particular case, that he's immersing himself in work, is because he's already lived a relatively fast life, and it no longer has any passion for him. This is what gives him passion. This is what gives him that fire, right? So there's a lot of older people who don't want to retire because they don't know what the hell they're going to do because they're always working. Some people need to feel like they're doing something that's important. So whatever is important to you, do it. You know what I mean? And God forbid, if this no longer becomes important, you'll find something else that's important to you, man. But yeah, it's important to just understand what drives you and go after it 100% because time is short. You never know.
Look, brother, I look at it like this. I smashed 1 million bras, and if I die today, that isn't going to mean shit.
They ain't going to remember you for it.
The only people that know is like my partners, and I don't even reference the number on YouTube because y'all cats, it's too much for y'all. Y'all wouldn't believe it.
They can't count that high.
I ain't got to touch that. Y'all wouldn't even believe it. Y'all think I was capping, so I'm going to just leave my stats. But it's like the bigger my brand, the more people that I reach and touch and inspire. You know what I'm saying? Like I get book consultations now of how to so it's like, wow.
Nice.
I come in here, you know, and I'm telling you, bro, like Justin, I'm not trying to be cocky, but a lot of this shit on you, dude, wasn't nobody doing the player panels before me, bro. That's my fucking shit. I don't care. I'm telling you now, and y'all cats, y'all see all these.
You got the new playlist. I saw the new playlist.
That is me, bro. Before that, the only person that was doing panels was O'Shea, and that was Sunday Rumble, so that was set up for niggas to argue. There were no all-star shits. That's my fucking shit, bro. Books, now everybody want to write a book, and I'm not saying everybody, but I'm just saying, like, I started a positive trend instead of starting a trend where niggas sagging their pants and shit, saying they from the streets. Cats want to write books now, and they hitting me up. They're not hitting me up and saying, "Hey, I want my ex back." They hit me up like, "Hey, I'm writing my life story, bro. Help me out." Wow, I started a trend. That's more fuel for me.
Right, it's impactful. It's impactful, and you're making a mark. And I noticed that. Make sure y'all go to Afi's channel. He's got the new playlist, the All-Star Fire play panels with some of your favorite content creators on there.
And hold on, real quick. That's the second win because remember I used to do them on the Google Hangouts before StreamYard and shit.
Yes. So Afi's got.
But before then, with the 10, man, that's all me, bro.
That's what I'm saying. So some of the
where it comes from. That's me, bro.
Yeah, some of the hottest content creators.
Nelly, that's me, bro. That's my shit.
Some of the hottest content creators that you guys follow and shit that are blowing up, Afi was a part of that. They were on their panels before they got their fancy shit. You know what I mean? I was on some of those panels, thankfully. Yeah. So the point is, man, you know, working hard, being rewarded, feeling impactful, feeling important to yourself because what you want to do, that's the important thing. I know Justin wanted to say something.
Yeah. Now, Cass,
what you were mentioning about
shit, bro. Women on their panels, nigga, that's me, bro. I opened that shit up. Niggas wasn't scared to do that type of shit, bro. I'm just keeping it real. Cass was not having women on their panels, bro. Cass was not interviewing women. That's me. I brought that shit here, bro. I'm telling you, I'm correcting you guys. I brought that just in case you didn't know. Now it's like that. This manosphere was not for hoes. Now people want to have women in their chats, have interviews with expose. Nigga, that's my shit. I did interview with Principal Bay 3 years ago. That's my shit.
Facts.
Y'all get it fucked up. Y'all quit coming over here saying, "Oh, you should try it." It's like, try it like him, nigga. He got it from me.
Facts. Let's go, Justin. What were you gonna say, man? Sorry, bro.
No, yeah, that's
Sorry.
what I was gonna say. Y'all were mentioning being into something and that passion and then what it's not doing for you anymore, right? So you could be out there and be a player and eventually women aren't going to do it for you anymore. And it happens a lot to a lot of dudes who don't have like a like a sex obsession.
Mm-hmm.
They just get bored. They get bored of pussy, but it's all relative. Like it all happens in different places, right? So like, I know this guy. He's a coach, and he deals with like high rolling, big fucking executives who have massive portfolios. All right, they've invested in some of the like coolest companies, some of the most financially viable companies in the world, but they're bored. Right. Whereas somebody like us would be like, damn, like that's so cool, man. Like you're like rolling, you're doing deals and shit, like big shit. And same way where some people might look at a player and be like, damn, you fucked 1,000 women, right? Okay. What my boys, 5,000 women. Granted, he's a porn star, but still, he's over. It's like I don't care. Like it's just pussy, right? That same guy, that executive, right? Same shit. It's relative. My buddy who's a coach, guess what he does? He fucking teaches these guys how to do handstands. Or no, I'm sorry, headstands. He coaches top level executives how to do headstands for $5,000 a pop. Mm-hmm. Right? And it's because these guys, they're over their successes. They're like, yeah, whatever. It's just like they've done so much. They traveled the world. They own fucking 6 Lear jets. They have every model of Lamborghini since 1962. It's like they don't care, right? They just want to do something interesting that gives them some kind of inspiration, some kind of fire, and they're like, yeah, fuck, I'll drop $5,000 to learn how to do a headstand in my office. No. And the dude's killing it. They're killing it, teaching these dudes how to do fucking headstands.
Hey, real quick, Daniel said, Avi, sometimes when you go over your book writing process, what program you use, don't want to get off track. Just go to the video, go to Mr. Lucario, type in Mr. Lucario and Afi Kingdom, and it's the latest one. It's going to say Dominance, it's going to say Kingdom Classics, Daniel, because I went over it for an hour. That's what the video was about. So I'd rather you just watch the whole, because I unpacked the whole process that I do. So just go over there, Afi Kingdom, Mr. Lucario, and go to the one that says Kingdom Classics, bro. I'd go over for an hour, and yeah, bro. Shout out to RSB. He says, my last few rants and videos been blowing up, so I guess I'm put on this earth to random paper with it. Hey, maybe you are, bro. And Nelly Nell says, at facts, Afi ain't lying. And the video breakdowns too. Nigga, that's me. I was too phoning it up. There was no screen share and all of this shit, bro. That's me too.
You know, I want to comment on what Justin said in regards to being over it, being bored. This is why celebrities do outlandish things. Right? They defecate on women. They just do crazy shit because they can and they're bored. They've done everything. So you have to continuously find what motivates you, what inspires you. Women will eventually become boring to you. Making money may eventually become boring to you. So you have to continuously find what is your purpose and what makes you feel good. Because when you feel good, everybody feels good around you. When AV's good, he's happy. You get the best AV. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, you have to find what you're good at, what you like to do, and keep going. Try to keep your blinders on and try not to get distracted, as I mentioned before. And, you know, talk about what you want to talk about, because when it's authentic and when it comes from you, it'll hit somebody, man. It'll hit somebody. And the numbers. Sometimes, you know what I mean? It's all about quality versus quantity. You know what I mean? You can't really get distracted about the views and everything like that, because sometimes there may be more value in 100 people that you touching versus 1,000 people that's watching.
Facts. John Bell says, I would like to any insight in producing multiple sources of income and not just in financial. I would just tell you this, bro. Monetize your hobbies, bro. The shit that you like to do, figure out a way to get paid. If you play basketball, figure out how to way to. If you can't go to the league, guess what? You can still train. You can still open up a little league camp. If you like art, you can sell your art. If you know how to trade, you can sell your service of teaching how to trade. It's not as hard as you think. You ain't got to go to 5 different schools and learn 5 different things. If you good at training dogs, well, charge motherfuckers, and that's how you get multiple streams of income, bro. You monetize the shit that you know, and you monetize the shit that you do, bro.
But he said it's a weird question, because the second statement is not just in financial profits, but in assets. Like, assets aren't a source of income. Like, they provide value over time. So if you have an asset, like maybe a holding in a company, or you've got a stock or something like that, like that's something that grows through ownership. That's not exactly a source of income. So as far as this, like, it's just a weird second part of the statement. But just like what Afi was saying, that if you want a multiple stream, look into things that require like little overhead. You can do like drop shipping. Drop shipping is something I know that's pretty popular. It does require some legwork, but there's not a lot of overhead, so you don't have to invest a whole lot of money into drop shipping. There's a lot of e-commerce things that you can get into, and then even on smaller ends, like if you have like anything that you produce in your life, that like let's say it's artwork, you can set up a Patreon for that sort of stuff and give out levels to all that shit. But you got to understand that all streams of income will require some amount of work. So you got to have a strategy to how you want to do this. And if you don't know anyone who, or if you don't know how to do it, you got to find someone who knows how to do these things, that can help you along the way and guide. You might have to pay them. All right. I have 2 coaches, right, that I pay on a monthly basis. So it's like, you have to, if you want to make money, you have to invest in yourself. And sometimes that means paying money, right?
And you heard what Justin said. Justin is a coach, but Justin has 2 coaches.
Yeah.
Okay. So
I've got a business coach in general, and then I have a specific sales coach.
Okay. See, Justin is a man who is confident. He is perfecting his craft. He knows that he doesn't know everything, but he is looking for other people in areas of expertise, so he can in turn become a better expert at coaching. So the moral of the story is investing in yourself, not being afraid to realize that you don't know everything, not being afraid to receive counsel from somebody else and other areas of expertise that you don't flourish in, so you could become well-rounded and be the best version of yourself, like Justin. So that way you could be a one-stop shop. Legwork is important, man. Legwork, nothing is going to come free. Nobody cares. Yeah. Nobody's going to do it for you. If things fall in your lap, you read alliances, fine, but you never want to rely on someone else to do what you want to do. You learn from other people and you do what you got to do. Yeah,
you got to find experts in things that you're only brushing the surface of. Like there's no way, and like you have to be exercising all things in your life, and if you can't, you have to find experts who are, right?
Right.
And like but that requires being honest with yourself, doing really cold fucking audits of your entire life, doing an audit of your financial life, an audit of your emotional life, your physical life, your sex life, your relationships with like your friends, family, and lovers. Like you have to be cold auditing all this stuff and say, okay, what needs improvement? And if I can't figure it out in a book or talking to friends, I have to go find a professional who is knowledgeable about these things and pay them to help me. And that's just the way it works. You know what I'm saying? All these successful people, they didn't do that shit on their own. Are you kidding me?
I get consultation from cats.
Like you look at Elon Musk. brilliant motherfucker, absolutely brilliant. He did not build that kingdom on his own.
Facts.
He did not. He said, okay, there's some people who have now, I have great knowledge, but I don't have knowledge of all things. So I got to find people who can fill in the gaps for me so I can do what I do best. And so he surrounds himself with the right kind of people that he can trust that can make everybody go up, right? And now he's building his own fucking rocket ships and saying, hey, we're going to privatize space flight. You know, he didn't do that on his own, though.
You know, Justin, you finessed because you didn't tell your story the whole time. You talked about the lube. You didn't get into your story, though. You talked your way out of it. What's your ratchet story? And real
My
quick,
ratchet story?
yeah, and real quick, Unique
one
said,
that I've been in.
Yeah, hold on. Let me read this comment. Too many men are obsessed with body count instead of focusing on themselves. When you focus on yourself and do it the body counts will continue. Yeah. So yeah, what's your ratchet story, man? That these cats.
Well, I want to first mention what Unique 79 said, and I'm going to fix it. It says when you focus on yourself and you do it the right way, the body counts will come. A correction: when you're focusing on yourself and you do it the right way, you won't care about body counts.
Facts.
Right? Because think about it. If you establish yourself, you have one woman who does everything that you need her to do, and she does so willingly and joyfully. Why you need numbers, right? I'd rather have one woman who's at 1,000. She's at level 1,000 than 500 women who are at like level 4. Even if they're baddies on the surface, but if they're treating me in a way that they're not putting in the effort, they're not doing what they need to do to harvest my time and attention, I don't care if there's 20 of them, right? I'd rather have one that does it all, and you're like, yeah, all right, you can stick around, you know?
Shout out
So
to
yeah, so real quick,
what's going on, bro? Mac the Day Gamer in the house.
peace.
So many nuances and variables. It's really about finding your lane. Facts, bro.
Yep.
So real quick, Justin, do you have any, not necessarily about Lou, but any ratchet stories, any funny stories that you have in the past about dating or a weird experience that you had with a woman that you could share?
A fucked up situation. Yeah, you know,
follow me on the ground. Let me see it.
I got this. I mean, it's not a ratchet story. I just got with some crazy woman. And she seemed cool at first.
They always do.
But then the demon came out, but it came out in the middle of a session, and you know how like alcohol can change people drastically, right?
Facts.
They'd be like a cool ass person, and it's usually the brown alcohols, you know, like rye, whiskey, bourbon. That could change a motherfucker from night to day. Like they're just like regular Joe cool, and then they turn into a goddamn werewolf. And you right, like punching people, and you're like, and then other times they turn into a big softie, and they're the person who's like, I love you, man, you mean the world to me. And you're like, where did this dude come from? Like all open and soft and shit, you know? It's like you were just cracking heads like 2 hours ago. What's going on? So this girl, her like all of her negative emotions and stuff would come out, her guilt, her fear, her anger, and she, you know, we were fucking around, and she was a practicing witch. She, you know, she practiced witchcraft. She's into like crystals, seances, like this whole thing, and she had a darkness in her. And when she got drunk on whiskey, it let out that darkness. And we're on this massage table because she was giving me a massage. She had her own table, and she's riding me on the table. And next thing I know, she's mixing around like joy and extreme sadness and speaking in tongues and anger, like all at the same time. While she's riding me, I'm like looking up, I'm like, holy fuck, where did this person come from? Is she gonna pull out some sacrificial dagger next moment and drive that shit into my chest? Like I had this, like fear filled my body. I'm like, holy fuck, this girl is losing her mind right in front of my eyes. Wow. And but nothing seriously bad happens. And then like afterwards, she like totally broke down and was just like all this shit was coming out. I'm like, holy fuck, dude, I am screwing the wrong woman right now, because she's just not ready for any of this stuff. Like, she needs like therapy, she needs more seances, she needs more crystals. I don't know what the fuck, but
Bro,
it's not me that she needs.
Bro, most of these women are out of their treehouse, bro. Most of them are out of their treehouse, and you know it's crazy. Like, they'll get really, really emotional, like you said. You know, you could have sex with them, and they'll get really emotional. Then sometimes they'll blame it on the fact that they regret it because they have a man, or they're having a problem with their kid, or they haven't felt this way in a long time. So you got to be really careful, man, because you never really know who a person is until you get them in a situation where you got their ankles behind their neck. They're in a compromising position where they just feel comfortable, and then they really get to see who they really are, man. So you can't ignore those signs, man. You were about to be a sacrifice, Justin.
Yeah, maybe it's like some Indiana Jones shit. I thought she was gonna stick her hand through my chest and take out my heart while it's still beating.
Hey, brother, we gotta say our last words. I gotta get to work. So go ahead,
All
Justin.
right.
Go first. Tell them where they can find you.
Well, you know, it's good chat. You know, love hanging out with you fellas, and you know, I hope the audience was able to glean some good value from everything that we shared today. My name is Coach Justin. You can find me at CoachJustin_ on Instagram. If you got any questions about your personal masculinity, even if you just want to fight me on a topic, I don't give a shit. Let's just talk. I give free consultations. My Calendly link is in my bio on Instagram. And I've also got a podcast called The Forge Project, and you can check that as well. It's on anywhere that podcasts can be found.
All right. For me, buy the books. The links are in the chat. Dominance Mindset of a King, Kingdom Classics, Analytical Confusion, The Key. If you missing one, get all 6. Kat, you said you was gonna get them books. Did you get them? Let me know. Follow me on the gram too at King Genius Afi. Go ahead, IVAV.
I go by the name of AV. First things first, make sure y'all cop this book, The Kingdom Classics. You already know, add it to the collection. We got number 7 coming. You can follow me on Instagram at Alpha Villains. I got a YouTube channel, same name at Alpha Villains. Every Tuesday night, the DJ Epps and Friends show live on IG. We coming.
All right, y'all. So y'all make sure y'all drop a comment. Let us know what you feel about the topic. Feel free to put your stories, your hell stories in the comments. We gonna be responding back and stuff like that.
Word.
You know what I'm saying? Thank you, Kat. You follow me on the gram, Kat. You make sure you do that. I want to see what the top face look like on the eyes. I want to see. So she said, "Thank you, Coach Justin." That's AV. Down the bad guy. He was having problems coming in. So that's Alpha Villains. We got to get that right.
Let's go.
Down the bad guy. He didn't come on today. He was having some technical issues, but that's okay. We'll get it right the next time. So y'all make sure y'all drop a comment with y'all stories. Follow us all on the gram, and have a good day, y'all. Peace.
Peace.
All right.